Hey everyone, it's Maydad here from 𝑦V Health and Wellness, and tonight I'm joined with one of my great friends, Mario Bekes from Insight Intelligence. Mario, how are you doing? And great to have you here.
Mario, thank you so much for having your amazing podcast and all who are making this happening possible. So thank you for having me. It's good to spend the evening with you.
Excellent. It's been a long time coming. We've been meaning to catch up and very soon.
True.
Mario, I know you have a wealth of knowledge and you're doing some incredible things in your own practice. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey and some of the things that you're doing?
Oh, look, I like to start my story with from the end, because everybody starts reading the resume from the day you're born. Today, I'm happy, healthy man who is running the 3 successful businesses, and who was a day dreamer all his life. But today I'm, thanks to my dreams, I am today what I am today with you on your podcast, because I dare to dream. And dreaming was forbidden in days when I was born in communism, ex-Yugoslavia. My parents were different type of the breed of the people. Like, they were typical, typical communist products, alcoholics, didn't care for nothing, life was all the time very hard for them. And one thing leads to another. I said to people, be careful what you wish for. I want to become the soldier. So at age 14, my grandfather sent me to military school. I said to myself, I'd like to go in a war as well. So then suddenly war happened 5 years later, 91. Civil war happened to me. And life was full of the challenges, started happening to me. So, I was born in Croatia, then Yugoslavia, and my path was very simple, from typical communist, product, of the communist Yugoslavia. I became the commanding officer in the Croatian military forces, and my path was leading me to the diplomatic intelligence type of 007 lifestyle. And that's how I came to Australia.
Amazing, Mario. I know you've held a Guinness World Record in 2023. Yes. Can you share a little bit of insight about that with the people watching this back?
Look, I think that it was something I never dreamed about. Like, I never dream about. I never dared to go that big bite. But then suddenly something happened to me. I was sitting in my office, and I said to myself, I need to start creating legacy, even bigger, better. So I want to prove to people that impossible, it's possible. Like you, Maya, You're the great boxing coach. And I always believe in the people who can show how to do it. You know how to show how to do it, how to punch, how to move, how to sleep, how to, all these things. I was never easy with the people around me who are great theorists. So the Guinness World Record happened to me. I said, like, I want to demonstrate that impossible, it's possible. So I started contemplating this for the several months. And eventually last year, towards the end of the April, 30th of April, I walk into the radio station, Saturday morning, 11 o'clock, kickoff midday. And for 55 hours and 25 minutes, no sleep, nothing, just continuous talking. It was a difficult task, I must say. Although you are, it's a challenging, because, body different react when you're 20 than 50. I've been let down with several people who were supposed to come to my studio to do the interviews, all these things. So it was a lot of improvising, but I managed it. And on Monday afternoon, when the people from Guinness World Record, they're listening across the globe, they're listening online. So there's all this shift, the adjudicator come on a site, and they're listening all the tapes and everything else. It says, like, you win Guinness World Record. And I said, like, oh my God, I just want to sleep. And it was a challenging, but as you know, my dad, because you're the great boxing coach, life is a challenge, and who we are, it's what we do. If we do, our actions determine who we are. And I decided to run this, and I won. So it was a good thing.
Amazing, Mario, and thank you for the kind words.
Thank you.
Nothing comes overnight, as you know, and we dare to be great. We dare to give the best of ourselves to others, and in doing so, we naturally become better. And evolve into the people that we are. But Mario, I know you're a bestseller and author. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I'm sure a lot of people watching this will want to know.
Look, as I say, I never plan contemplate I'm going to come to Australia, particularly to be in English background speaking environment, right? So English was not my language, ever was, ever will be. So I speak Croatian fluently, Russian and German. So when I come to Australia in 98, I need to learn very quickly because I was working Croatian embassy. So the books was actually a product of necessity rather than being I have nothing better to do. So for me, when I started my business in 2009, Inside Intelligence Group, I was being told by many people, we don't know who you are. So what do you mean you know who I am? This is my credentials. So I couldn't get a business, and I started building the books. So I started writing first book, and I had the great mentor, Professor Dr. Troy Whitford and Professor Clive Smallman, who told me it's not what you by nature, but by nurture. So do these books, and we're going to help you editing and everything else. So one book led to another. So university, the masters, another book. So eventually, I come to the stage where I say myself, I need to say my story. I need to tell everybody's story. They can be more inspired by my life experience in a war. So that was two books which are the bestseller book, Blood, Soccer, Soil, and was A True Price of the Freedom.
Incredible, Mario, incredible.
Thank you.
I'm actually working on something now. I've got a great friend, a friend of mine and Nadia's named Kevin, and he's been motivating us, both of us, to write our own books. Nadia she's done her book, and she's got 2 parts to her books, and I'm looking at doing something, and it's more of a personal thing for me. It's more about my life and my journey. But I want to ask you, the work that you're doing now, inspiring so many people, what really got you into this line of work? What motivated you to do what you're doing now?
Well, look, the Inside Intelligence was a product of, I said, necessity. It was a GFC, I lost everything. So what I can start doing, it was what I know the best, that's investigation. So I started as a private investigator, as a contractor. I built my business now. My business is now a couple hundred people strong. So, started building that business was a difficult task. So, but I always run my business because the business, might have been somebody took advantage of you. Do you remember?
Yes.
Well, that's where I'm stepping in to never happen again. So I build my business around the 3F. One, it's a fear. Fear, people lose money, lose reputation, being taken advantage of. The fight, no companies can fight, all this fraud, the scams, and anything else. I take the fight of my clients for them, and I do investigations. And there's a freedom as well. There's an aspect of freedom which allow my client to do their job on a day-to-day basis, so I can run for them investigations and successfully fighting, exposing the scam, the fraud. And subsequently to that, I launched my podcast, Live the Battlefield, which is exposing the fake gurus and scammers. So that's that I started last year after the winning Guinness World Record, Live the Battlefield. And as well, we interviewing people who can share their life, daily knowledge, daily life, how they tackle obstacles like yourself. Hopefully going to be my guest soon.
Oh, definitely.
Sit your hot chair, and then you're going to say like, that's it. So that's the podcast about Live the Battlefield. It is about everyday, ordinary, unsung heroes like yourself, people who are living the life and they doing the best to make this planet a better place to live.
That's a great share, Mario. I can really resonate with a lot of what you're saying. It's not easy being a husband. It's not easy being a parent, a business owner, and then fitting in all your personal stuff and your work and everything else. It really is, especially with today's pace of life. But Mario, I know you with some of the stuff and some of the work that I've seen you do, and how great you are in giving the best of yourself to others, in motivating other people, inspiring other people. What do you love most about what you do?
Well, look, I like to see people happy, people happy. Like, the first of all podcast side, it's when you ask people to share their wealthy, abundant life experience. So that experience is like, you know Mario better than anybody else. You saw so many students in your boxing studio. I mean, in your gym. Everybody comes with their story. Everybody comes with their pain, with the happiness, with the hurdles, with the obstacles, with the life it's bringing. You know, how many people you are make them happy? How many people come cry to you? I'm sick. I have no money. Now imagine when you put these stories. That's the reason why I don't buy that BS or the many gurus from US. Look at now the Puff Diddy. Puff Diddy was surrounded with all these, you know, amazing names, amazing entrepreneurs, amazing public speakers. They're all criminals. So now in my podcast, the best part it is when I interview someone like a Maida Ronan, I say, Maida, what makes person healthy? And you say, Mario, you need to run, you need to do this. Do you know what it is? It's a person who knows what body needs to be healthy. We are going to Tony Robbins. The guy never walked in his life. You know what I mean? He's a good orator. No question asked. But see, Maida, that's I say to people, your skills, Maida, everybody walks in that gym. Is everybody the same boxer, Maida? No.
No, everybody's different.
Are you adjusting your knowledge to a particular person? That's the coach.
You know, it's really interesting in what you say, Mario.
Wow.
And it's something that Marty and I have studied with behavioral science, and I know you know a lot about it too, but a lot of people educate the student based upon their backgrounds, based upon their ethnicity, you know, their religion and all that stuff, based upon in sport, how tall they are, how strong they are, how fat, how they're built. But I only teach a student, regardless of what I'm teaching them, based upon one particular thing, and that is the way their mind is wired up, the way their makeup is. And you know, like, I mean, I had a guy coming into the gym today when I was motorbike helmet on his head. And I said, mate, take it off. When he took it off, he was wearing a balaclava. I didn't know what to think. You know, I was on a live Zoom with no.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
there.
Behavioral science, you walk into a business, take your hat off, greet people, introduce yourself, you know. But everybody's wired up differently, you know. We go from an elite athlete to just an everyday person who just wants to lose weight and keep fit, but they're all wired up differently. And
makes you unique. That's what I say, like, this is my focus about people like you who makes the ball rolling around because you are adjusting your knowledge to individual needs. And that is a skill not many people have. Sorry.
No, so thank you for sharing. Thank you for the kind words. Mario, I know without you even knowing it, by just listening to your podcast, and I love listening to some of the stuff you say, you know, and some of the quotes that you post up and that. But to me, you are a life coach, you know, and what are some of the most common problems, having lived your life differently to most people, been at war, served your country, been through a lot of different other hurdles that you and I have spoken about in person, obstacles in life that people face and challenges unwittingly, you know, people get married, they get separated, all different things, you know. And what do you, with all your experience and all your years of knowledge, what do you feel are the most today? And, you know, as a parent, as a father, as a husband, I worry about the future for our kids, you know. So what's your thought of all these problems, or what you feel is a common problem in population today? And
personally, like, I try to not to judge things because you and I grew up in different environments. You and I grew up in different times, you know, where the things not so easy today. Like, you know, I mean, today I have the mobile phone, order the food, order the medicine, order this. Before you need to adapt, adjust, improvise, and get, you know, and do things best as possible. Today, if you don't see the doctor within 20 minutes, you can lodge complaint. I was like, what's wrong with it? But thing is, biggest problem, they think that everything a solution is a pill or injection, that the doctor's going to fix everything, that people believe that everybody owes them in life so they can do whatever they want. But I think that mostly it is that people have no courage to live their life. They want everybody to fight their battles, and everybody want to protect them. And we're seeing this every day. I'm seeing this every single day. And I say, look at the kids today, your kids, my kid, you know what I mean? They're born in different times. Everything is secure for them. You know, there's nothing not missing them. But I think that kids, I truly believe that kids that the world we're living in is challenging, but we don't allow the kids challenge themselves to that life, to adapt themselves, to try to, adjust things, to fight the battles. Instead of this, we're still fighting their problems and their battles. And that's the bigger challenge it is. People don't want to, they're afraid to tackle the life. That's what I think it is.
And that's where growth is made, isn't it, Mario?
Yes.
It's internally, character building, confidence, self-esteem, just adjustments and stuff like that. But, as you were talking, I was reflecting on my childhood back in the Middle East when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Today, if you wanted a chicken, you can go to the nearest takeaway and have chicken there. back home, you have to catch the chicken. You have to go and get, slaughter it. And then you've got to pluck the feathers.
Yeah.
And then you've got to, you've got a full chicken. And it's today you could just go to any corner of any street and you pretty much buy a chicken burger or a hamburger or anything.
That's correct, man. Absolutely. That's agree with you. So that's just like, I think, and that's like one more thing it is, we are, one of my biggest challenges in life where that I believe that I know everything. And that was my biggest mistake. My alter ego was bigger than anything else. I think we need in life people like yourself, which I'm grateful I know you, because the life wisdoms you saw so many men in that gym, yours, doing the boxing, and that's like many of us actually you recognize straight away our pattern, and I think that we need somebody who's gonna help us with our growth. We can't grow on our own. We need somebody to tell us from time to time to correct us and put us in the right direction. Otherwise, yeah.
Mario, look, I'm listening to you speak and I'm reflecting on a lot of things, and I thought I'd take a moment to share with you a little something.
Yeah,
I think, and I relate this to our friendship because we've known each other for many years now, and I think people come into your life for a season. Some people come into your life for a season and others come for a reason. And I believe us as friends, we've come into each other's lives for a reason.
Yes.
I reflect on my friendship with my great mentor, Jimmy Williams, who passed away at the age of 92 years old. He was a great teacher for many great professional fighters, including Antonio Tarver, John the Beast, Joey Gamage, so many, Lloyd Heineken, so many different fighters. But, one of the things that he taught me was none of us get out of here alive. So he was always going to do the best and give the best of himself for others and lay down his footprints. And his goal was to lay down his footprints for me to follow. So when he was no longer here, I would be able to lay down my own footprints for others to follow. And through this journey and after his passing, this is how I developed my own footprints retreat. And that is what this whole program that I run is basically on about, because really none of us are here forever.
True.
I give the best of ourselves to others. So when we're no longer here, all those that come into our life are going to benefit from all the positive stuff that we can shower them with. When we are no longer here, can walk in their own shoes and lay down their own footprints for others to follow. And I think that whole experience, that whole 12 years that I had studying under his mentorship was probably the most incredible years of my life.
You're grateful, that's to say you're grateful. And that's as we become older, it's like I'm becoming older, more grateful I am to the life, more grateful I am that I can say I'm healthy, I can breathe, I can, meet the people. Like I think that everything in life, it's come as I say, it's a season or the reason, or it stays forever. And but people need to start learning that it's not everything our enemy, that it's not everything there. Fear, it's a big, Maya, that's what it is. I think that fear, it's a very big element in people's life. And I think that's something where we need to work about, to teach other people, well, your job it is, you're the coach, you're doing these things, you need to teach us all as how to fear less, you know what I mean? And I said, like, look, I'm 53 now. Thinking that my life is going to end at some point in time, but somehow, you know, I push it and grind it, and now I'm here tonight with you. I'm very grateful for this. It's a unique opportunity. It's a unique opportunity.
Oh, it's beautiful, Mario. We are through this conversation, through this moment, we're able to build connection, and from that, we're going to go on and create a lot of special moments. I have a lot of things in mind to share with you, but you know, the word fear just came up. Was there any point that you don't mind sharing with our audience tonight? Was there any point? I'm sure there would have been many at war where fear sat in. If it's not too much to talk about, that you could share with.
Look, the war itself is a cruel thing. You know, I went in a war full of the hopes and the dreams, and you know, in a couple of months it's going to be over, going to be like a rumble and everything else. It turns out that I was a consecutive 5 years in a combat. So I'll give you one situation when I was just, you know, when I was mostly afraid. It was afraid before the fight starts. You know, I mean, that's something. But one event never gonna forget. We were fighting in one village, and somehow we come to the middle of the village. There's this shop, intact shop, like 7-Eleven. 7 or 8 of us go inside, and we just grab the Coke, you know, drinks, you know, just a bit thirsty. It's like a summer, very, you know, dust in the mouth. You just want a break, you know. Even in a war, in a fight, you have a break, you know. It's not always just a shooting. Anyway, comes the other group of the soldiers inside and start talking to us. And we recognize some people, but I recognize the one guy, and I wasn't sure where can I fit him. Anyway, it turns out that he's an enemy soldier. So we recognize each other. We are enemies to each other. In that very moment, hand-to-hand combat started. You know, bottles, knives, guns, and I was very, very much afraid. I was afraid, my dad, like never before. Like, you know, I was thinking my life is gonna end up in that shitty 7-Eleven shop, whatever it's calling, and I'm never gonna see nobody in my life. You know, I'm gonna die as a virgin. The thing is, I was afraid this was just the start of my fear. So, but that was one of my biggest fears, when I need to fight for literally for my life with my bare hands. I never done this before in my life, and I realized that this very moment after the fight, I turned it into something I can't explain what I become. All of us, you know what I mean? And we never spoke about this, but it was the biggest fear. You could sense it every time we look at each other. Fear would appear amongst us, right? So it took many years to overcome that event, but that was one of my biggest fearful events in my life.
Unimaginable for someone like me living in a city and stuff like that. I mean, I've experienced some pretty and some moments of fear, and a different fear, but I mean that's unimaginable for somebody of, you know, like myself, who's pretty much grown up most of his life here in Australia in the city. So geez, that's incredible.
Okay, look, it's life, you know. I mean, look, it's life. It's, you know, I turned one of my books, Blood, Soccer, Soil, now into entire video books into my YouTube channel. People who are interested can watch it. You know, I mean, they can just watch it and listen or reading, or sorry, you can watch it or you can listening. But I'd say it's a horrifying event. Like, but it doesn't diminish that your life didn't have the dangerous situations. It's a different. It's some people fight for the life in a different way. Some people fight in a war. So that's it.
Was there any moment, Mario, that you felt like, geez, like felt really like?
Okay, everything in war, like, you know, I would lie to you if I say I was the most bravest guy. I was becoming most avoided soldier because I done the most stupidest things because I was afraid. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like I had so many events, you know, unfortunate events when I was, you know, when to get some medals, you need to have 2 witnesses who will see you, that you can see your enemy whites in eyes. So it means you need to be face to face with your enemy. That's what it is. But he must have two witnesses to say, yeah, he was fighting or doing something face to face, right? So being 18, 19 years old, I was afraid, man. I was afraid. Most of my life, I was afraid in a war. But look, then you start learning controlling, not the pain itself. Sorry, the fear, but pain, because fear produces the pain. When you fear, suddenly you are cold, you are shivering, your stomach is shaking, you're feeling the cold and everything else. So you need to learn how to control the pain. When you learn how to control the pain, fear, it's irrelevant. I knew it then. Either I'm going to snitch the life or I'm going to be killed. I need to kill to survive. And that was it. Boom. And I was in the war for 5 years. First year of the war, we were losing all the time. So I had my moments when I want to end up my life, when I want to, I think myself, why I'm doing this? My parents abandoned me. So it was a lot of things, a lot of elements in my life I couldn't understand. Today, when I'm looking back, I said to myself, my life was being designed to be in a deepest, darkest hole of the human life. That is the war. It's a horror. And nobody can prepare you for this one. The worst thing is, Maida, when you finish everything, one day you need to leave your whatever you do. But nobody can prepare you on a different horror. And that is the peace. You see, when a war finishes, peace comes, it's even worse. Becomes silent. And your mind looking for the enemy. Lucky for me, I was being transferred to foreign affairs to work in intelligence. So it's okay. Not yet.
Amazing story, Mario. Amazing. I'm trying to listen and resonate in some of the things that you're saying. It's totally incredible. I look back at some of the experiences that I've had with some of the struggles, nowhere near what you've experienced, and I really just take my hat off to you for that.
That's why we love each other. That's why
we have a connection.
Yeah, connection. That's exactly that's what it's your podcast about. So this is, you see now why I'm doing my podcast with you. Your podcast, you're here to coach us all, to teach us all, and I want to know the stories of the people like yourself, because that's what the life it is about. That's what it is. Retreat as you're doing. You help the people to find themselves. I wish I had a coach like you before. Instead of this, my best friend, you remember, was a smoke, alcohol, drugs in military. That was my best friends. Continuously. Nobody was complaining then. But then comes the day when you say, you need to
enough. Yeah. Mario, I reflect on growing up in the Middle East and coming to Australia and not having much, if you don't mind my sharing for a second.
Yeah.
I remember arriving in Australia and we didn't have, mum and dad couldn't speak any English. So we were sleeping 5 to a bed, 3 at the top and 2 at the feet. There was no bed. There was a mattress that was thrown out in the street that Dad and I picked up and brought home, and we all slept together. And as we got busier and busier, and stayed here a little bit longer, our English improved. And, the kids used to walk the streets, collect aluminium cans. My brothers used to wash cars with me. We used to cut the grass. Now, we did whatever we could do, clean houses or anything, wash windows, to make some money, to put some food on the table, etc. Different times from what kids face today. Yeah. And I remember my mother, God bless her soul, who is no longer with us, used to put all that money away. Even when I was an apprentice pastry chef, I was only earning $160 back in 1993 and that. And I put the money away. She'd put the money away for me. And when I was about 30 years old, I decided to buy a gym in New Zealand, and I moved over there. And when I got over there, I bought the gym, and after about 2 years, I found that my business partner was double dipping GST, and he refused to take responsibility for it. Unfortunately, we had to go to court, and he declared bankrupt, not giving me any money back. Now, this situation left me homeless, where I was forced to live on a broken down mattress and 12 blue milk crates. That was my bed in a tin shed. No toilet, no light. And I remember sleeping at night, and most people don't know this, I used to sleep at night with a hay fork. The fork, you pick the hay, the farmers pick the hay with, and I used to sleep with it on my chest. And the reason I slept with it on my chest was I was afraid that somebody was going to come and get me, because I was going to court with them, and they were forced to go bankrupt, and they owed me a lot of money. It was over $150,000. Back in 1999 to 2003 was a really tough time for me. And I was there by myself, and I remember there was one point when I rang my girlfriend, which is my wife now, and I said to her, Linda, I know I promised your family that I'd bring you to Australia, we'd get married and all that sort of stuff, but I can't do this. I don't have any. I think it's best if you go and find another guy. And that whole situation where she was weeping and turned around to me and said, I'll do whatever it have to take. I'll wait 5-10 years. You're my man, and we will be together, and we will have kids, and you'll do everything that you want. You'll have your gym, we'll have our own house, and we'll have our kids. And when I look back at that particular moment, before I picked up the phone and rang her, to today, it was just incredible, because I could not see myself pulling myself out of that hole. It was the darkest place I've ever been, not because I didn't have any money or that, but just,
Yeah.
Looking back onto that now, I just think life is such an incredible journey. And if I hadn't had that experience, I wouldn't be half the man that I am today. And I know that you probably resonate with that in so many ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's like, as I said to you, my dad, you come far away, you know what I mean? It's like, I think that your role, it's in this planet, it is what you're doing right now. And that is to be our educator. For that, I'm grateful to you. It's like, I know you for several years now, and what I mean, you're nothing short than being just a kind, honest person who always want to help other people. So for that, I'm grateful to you.
Mario, I know you've seen some incredible transformations in your life. You talked about cigarettes, you talked about alcohol, you talked about the Coca-Cola and not eating healthy, but now you're training with Rodney, you're at the gym doing your own workouts, you're motivated, you've got this zest for life, you've got such a huge passion with what you do, but you have a message for everyone when you go on that podcast and you share some of your philosophy and views. What has been the biggest transformation that you've seen?
I think that health, two things. Health is the one thing that started with you, journey with you, the boxing with you. That was the one thing. The second thing is being genuinely accepting responsibility for my mistakes. All my mistakes. Before, many years ago, I will blame anybody for my mistakes. So I learned to own my mistakes. That is my message to everybody. When you admit yourself that whatever you do in your life, that is your responsibility, you are accountable for your actions, only then you're going to start growing. If you are looking for easy path and someone's going to do these things for you, they're not going to happen. So that's what I learned, how to, be grateful and for the life I'm living right now, for what I have, not what I want to have, but what I'm right now, and that all actions, actually, it's a product. Everything what I am, it's a product of my actions. So I own everything what I do, decisions in my life.
Couldn't agree any more than that, Mario. Incredible. Mario, I know we've spoke about this before. You've held the Guinness Book of Record, been on air for so long. You've been an ambassador, an activist, a humanitarian. You've spent 18,000 hours in combat at war. You've experienced military intelligence. You're a diplomat, security intelligence operative, and you're a successful business owner and a best author. There's so much that you have to offer and share with.
You're gonna look. I think when you come to my podcast, then we're gonna have the even deeper conversation. I just want to say that today I'm not here. I'm not here today what I am because only me, but because people who believe in me like yourself. For that, I want to say thank you, because people found the time to have time with me. You find time to coach me. You told me, Mario, get off fucking cigarettes. Mario, stop drinking that Coke so many times. And I will not listen to you till I didn't realize this person wants me best. And that's for that I am today grateful. So it's like when you come, what's the calling into for the interview with me, then we're gonna go deeper into the books and everything else. You know what I mean? So I'm thankful that we can talk tonight. You know what I mean? That's my biggest gratefulness, because I can be on your podcast. Literally, I can be on your podcast.
Oh, Mario, I'm looking forward to being on your one. And speaking of people that believe in me, sometimes I don't know if you remember. Do you remember when COVID hit and you drove to my place?
Yes.
Drove your car, and as you came up with your car, you came out of your car and you walked out, and I made a video and I played the music.
Yes. Yes.
I looked at that a little while ago, and it's motivated me. And I like even just seeing you in your business suit, seeing you on the air and stuff like that. It just motivates me to take everything and every experience that I've learned and share it and use it to empower myself, empower my family, and empower others. But Mario, I know you've got so much to share, and we can go on forever with so much stuff that you could talk about. I know there's a lot of people out there that could benefit from what you have shared with us and anything else that you also have, all the other great skills that you have. If any of our viewers want to learn a little bit about you or get in contact with you or know a little bit about the books or the podcasts and stuff like that, how do they get in contact with you?
Very simple. Just go on my website, mariobekes.com, or simply go to Mario Ronan. He has all my details. So guys, just feel free to reach to my dad, and Maya's going to contact him. So it's going to be, either way, it's going to be a great thing, because my dad is my mentor, and I was going to say this. Yeah, I'm very proud to say this because it's true. So it's being 50 years old man, being trained by the best of the best. One thing I never love about you, that he's too fast, and but that's my Ronan. He's too fast, man. He does everything in the boxing so quickly. So I appreciate him being my mentor, because he pushed me. So thank you, my dad.
God bless you, Mario. I'm so like I said, there's a lot of people that are no longer here. My mother, my mentor, my grandmother, and a lot of other people that are no longer here. Even Roger Mayweather. I used to visit Roger Mayweather every time I used to go to Las Vegas, and I used to bring him on Friday every afternoon when I was in Carline picking up my kids from school, and I had a great friendship with him. But there's a lot of people that are no longer here that I had that relationship with. But you, my dad, and my immediate family, and a few others, I have that relationship with what you said. Mario, thank you for coming on our show tonight. It's great having you here, and I'm looking forward to going over to your show.
You will be very soon. I'm very grateful to say. I want to say, guys, thank you for having me tonight on your podcast. I wish you all the best, and I'm looking forward to seeing my podcast. Thank you.
Definitely. There you go, everybody. Look, before we finish off tonight, just wanted to share with you some of the great events that we're running. As we spoke about a little bit earlier on, the Footprints Retreat is a retreat that I've run twice this year. It's a 2-day retreat run here in Bondi. It runs for 2 days. That involves a health and wellness coaching with me talking about submodalities and people's internal representation, doing some neural transformation therapy with them. The retreat involves yoga, it involves breath work, nutrition, it involves ice bath, massage, and so many great things. Participants are treated with luscious meals from acai bowls, detoxing smoothies, human movement workouts, boxing workouts, and so much more. If you want to learn more about these retreats, including the Honey and Handsome retreats for couples, and recently I've just put a new program together with the assistance of my great helper, Nadia, who's from 𝙁 Technology. She does so much for me, and I wouldn't be here today doing what I'm doing on this podcast without her support. So thank you, Nadia. And these are all great events. The winery event is going to be held at Urban Wineries Sydney, down at the headquarters by Fox Studios, and it's an evening of wine testing that anybody could come to. If you want to know a little bit more about that, feel free to look me up on Facebook, Maydad Ronan, or Maydad Ronan Coach, or email me at ynvhealthandwellness@hotmail.com. Once again, Mario, it's been amazing having you on the show. Have an amazing evening, and I look forward to seeing you and being on your podcast.
Looking forward, Maya. Thank you, guys. Enjoy that.